I'm Rick Novak from Nation Hill Road. I want to welcome you all. I'm sorry we do not have the usual wonderful accommodations, including coffee and et cetera at the town hall. I'm sorry I'm not as funny or as civic-minded as George, but we'll try to get you in and out as quickly as we can. I think I'd like to start by thanking George. George, how many years did you do this on your own? 10? Whatever. But let's please have a round for George, who has run this pretty much solo for years. And also for our esteemed tellers, Renee, Jeannie, and Abby. And the nice people from Dover Sherborn Cable Television. All right, enough about that. I think we need a nomination for a clerk. Janet, do you want to nominate someone to be the clerk?
I would like to nominate George Fisk.
Any other nominations for clerk? George Fisk has been nominated. Hearing no other nominations, I'd accept a motion that one vote be cast for George Fisk for clerk. So moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Mr. Fisk.
Thank you, everyone. I know it's a different year, but that's all right. I think you're all being accommodated reasonably well, I hope. But I have the distinct honor and duty to ask for nominations for caucus moderator. Do I hear a nomination, Janet?
I would like to nominate
Rick Novak. Rick Novak has been nominated as caucus moderator. Any other nominations? Hearing none, then I will entertain a motion that the nominations be closed and that the clerk, that's me, cast one ballot for Rick Novak as caucus moderator. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank you all. George and I will discuss later what second prize might be. All right, I'm going to read the caucus call. In accordance with the provisions of Chapter 53 of the General Laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and amendments thereto, if any, a caucus of the registered voters of the town of Sherborn, Massachusetts is hereby called to be held outdoors, Pine Hill School, Sherborn, Massachusetts, on Sunday, April 11, 2021 at 2 p.m. for the purpose of nominating candidates for the various town offices to be filled at the annual town election to be held Tuesday, June 15th, 2021, and to elect a town caucus committee and to transact any other business that may legally come before the meeting. The meeting will be called ordered by a member of the town committee. The checklist of registered voters will be used. The town caucus committee: Richard Novak, Janet Walsh, George Fisk. All right, and I think we go right to the votes, right? All right. Excellent point. As George reminds me, there is no need to be the caucus nominee to run for a town elected office. You can always file nomination papers on behalf of yourself. Later, I think the deadline is April 14, so you need not be the caucus nominee to run. And if you are not the caucus nominee, or if you run a caucus and are not the caucus nominee, you can still take out nomination papers. So this is just one route. The main purpose of caucus is to try to make sure that nothing goes unfilled.
I have a nomination.
Oh, and Jackie is here with the nomination papers. So anyone who is just dying to run for office and too shy or not elected today, see that woman right there. All right. The first office for a term of 1 year is the moderator of the town meeting. Do I have any nominations for the moderator of town? Yes, ma'am. And please say your name and where you live. Okay. 26 Stoppingbrook Road nominates Mary Wolf, the existing moderator. Are there any other nominations for moderator? Is there a second for that? Are there any other nominations for moderator? All right, no other nominations for moderator. I'll accept a motion that the Voting. Not.
One ballot for Mary Wolf.
All right, we're going to call this the standard poll motion, which is a motion that nominations be closed and that the clerk cast one ballot for the person named. All in favor of the poll motion? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, Select Board. Term of 3 years, one opening. Any nominations for Select Board? Sir.
Yes, hi. Andy Lauterbach, 36 Brush Hill Road, and I would like to nominate Marion Nutra.
Okay. Andy Lauterbach, 36 Brush Hill Road, nominates Marion Nutra. Any other nominations? Yes, ma'am.
Judy Miller, 31 Great Rock Road, and I'd like to nominate Frank Hook.
Okay. Judy Miller, 31 Great Rock Road, nominates Frank Hook. Any other nominations for the 3-year term on Select Board? Okay. This is the one where we are going to have speeches by the two nominators. Andy, you were first, so you go first. I'll step aside. 1 minute. We have a man hidden behind the building with a bat. So relax.
Okay. Marion Nutra brings a wealth of experience, commitment, and the creativity necessary to confront the challenges facing Sherborn. She's called Sherborn her home for over 40 years. As a professor and researcher at Harvard Medical School, she made many scientific contributions in support of human health. She attained leadership roles nationally and internationally, including at Harvard, where she was a distinguished professor of pediatrics, and at the National Institute of Health, where she was chair of the AIDS Research Advisory Committee. Closer to home, Marion was member of the Planning Board for the past 7 years, currently as chair. She's also a member of the Open Space Committee, the Land Acquisition Committee, science consultant on the Dover-Sherborn COVID-19 response team, and the town's representative to the Metropolitan Area Planning Council. She cherishes Sherborn's open space, healthy environment, clean groundwater resources, and excellent schools. All are fundamental to our well-being, property values, and fiscal health. As organizer and lead writer of the Sherborn's Master Plan, Marion has a deep understanding of the challenges facing our town. She has helped articulate a vision for Sherborn's future and map the way forward. For all these reasons and more, I am pleased to nominate Marion Nutra for member of the Sherborn Select Board. Did I do it?
Close enough. Close enough. Thank you. Judy, please.
Nice to take the mask off. Thank you all for coming. I am thrilled and honored to nominate Frank Hook for Sherborn Select Board. My husband Bill and I have been friends with Frank and his wife Diana for many years, and we believe that Frank has the judgment, intelligence, and grace necessary to be an excellent member of Sherborn Select Board. Frank is a chemist by training and spent 18 years in business. Just after September 11th, Frank felt a call to service and switched careers, becoming a high school chemistry teacher, which he has done in the Medway Public Schools since 2002. Frank has a long and rich history of public service and leadership in the town of Sherborn. He has served and continues to serve on the board of the Community Center Foundation for 14 years, 3 of which as its president, and has led the Student Directors Program, which empowers students as they gain leadership and civic skills. Concurrently, Frank served on the Sherborn School Committee for 6 years, from 2010 to 2016. Frank has also volunteered for years in religious education at St. Teresa's Parish, and in Medway, he has started a club giving students a safe place to build coping skills and lead lives of emotional stability and joy, a much-needed combination in our world today. Frank understands and cares about town issues impacting all of us. As a 25-year resident, some of his top priorities are improving our town center, managing the town's building plans, and managing our tax rate. He has a vision of equity and inclusiveness in Sherborn. He is detail organized, an inspiring leader, and a caring community member, and I am honored to have the opportunity to endorse and promote his candidacy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Two quick announcements before we begin the voting. One, we really should be spreading out a little more across the back there. I know everybody's social. I know the pandemic's almost over, but Daryl Beardsley's here, and she's promised to beat me severely if I don't have people spread out a little more. So please do that. Second, I wanted to announce that we do have a quorum. We needed to have 25 people. We're roughly double that. Okay, Paul, I think you probably made a second on both of those nominations. So both are seconded, and now we need to have an election. And the way we're going to do this is you've got a voting slip with A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We've got two candidates. May I have the two candidates come forward, please? The first one nominated is going to be A. The other one's going to be B. Those of you who have a little trouble figuring things out will have these handy guides. Let's see. You're a B. I'm a boy. No. It's B for second. And you get A for first. There we go. So hold your letters up so everybody knows who you are. That's how you vote. Tear off the A. No, sorry. You're voting for Marion. Tear off the A. Frank is the B. Okay. On we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a result. Candidate A, Marion Neutra, 48. Candidate B, Frank Hook, 41. Very close. Frank, if you want to take out papers from Jackie, she's right here. I hear there are lots of Stop the Steal signs around available. You could probably use that as your slogan. All right, thank you both very much. Next, and on we go. Next open position is Town Assessors, 1-year term. Do we have a nomination for Town Assessors for a 1-year term? Yes, sir.
Bill Seymour, 25 Saddlebrook Road. I would nominate James Williams.
Okay. Mr. Seymour of 25 Saddlebrook Road nominates James Williams, and that's seconded. Any further nominations for a 1-year term for assessors? Hearing none. Mr. Durensis, do you want to make your motion? All in favor of the Durensis motion? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, 3-year term Board of Assessors. Anybody want to nominate anyone for a 3-year term? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Amy Davidson of 12 Washington Street nominates Drew Kashal. Second. Any further nominations for the 3-year term for Board of Assessors? Hearing none. Mr. Durensis.
I move that the nominations be closed and that the clerk cast one ballot.
Is there a second? Second. Okay, moved and seconded. The clerk cast one ballot for Drew. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On we go. Sherborn School Committee, 3-year term. Any nominations for a 3-year term in school committee? There are 3 open spots. Okay, David Cases of Farm Road nominates Amanda Brown of 51 Goulding Street. Second? Second. Made and seconded. Okay. Any other nominations for that first 3-year term? Because there are 3 spots. Yes? Okay. Okay. On further review, are there any further nominations for the first of 3 3-year slots on the school committee? Hearing none. Mr. Durensis.
So I move that the clerk cast one ballot. The nominations be closed and the clerk cast one ballot.
For Amanda Brown.
For Amanda Brown.
Second. All right, moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Congratulations. Please see. I'm right here. Right, okay. Thank you. Please see Janet to sign up. Okay, for the second of 3 slots, 3 3-year slots on the Sherborn School Committee. Yes, ma'am.
Diane Quant, and I nominate my husband Dennis Quant from 93 North Main Street.
Diane Quant nominates her husband, which is perfectly legit. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any further nominations for the second of three-year slots on the school committee? Hearing none.
I move that the nominations be closed and that the clerk cast one ballot.
Mr. Durensis moves that the nominations be closed and the clerk cast one ballot for Dennis Quant. Second? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Third of three, Sherborn School. Oh, yeah, right, that's right. Third of three. Good thing I have these people to keep me honest. Third of three Sherborn School Committee slots. This one is for only 1 year. Any nominations? Yes, ma'am.
Amanda Brown, 51 Golden Street East. I nominate David Casey of 38 Farm Road.
Highly incestuous, but very common. Second, any further nominations for the 1 year school committee term? Hearing none.
I move that the nominations be closed and the clerk cast one ballot.
Mr. Durensis moves that the nominations be closed and the clerk cast one ballot. Made in second. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Next up, trustees of Sherborn Academy, one opening, 5-year term. Yes, sir.
Hi, Scott Embry, 36 Wildwood Drive. I nominate David Welch.
All right. Made in second for David Welch. That was Scott Embry of Wildwood Drive, for the record. Okay. Any further nominations for this 5-year spot on the trustees of Sherborn Academy? Seeing none.
I move that the nominations be closed and the clerk cast one ballot for the candidate nominated.
Mr. Durensis has moved that the nominations be closed and the clerk cast one ballot for Mr. Welch. Second, made in second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Okay, carries. Great. Next up, library trustees. 3 spots, 3 years each. 4? Let's go on to the next page. I beg your pardon. Four spots? 3 spots?
Three spots.
3, yeah, okay. People trying to mess me up there. I messed myself up pretty well. All right. Library trustees. First was a resigned appointment to serve to the end of annual town meeting 21. Right, so this is a stub period. No? Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. It's just a little bit confusing. The current occupant is serving under an appointment that expires at annual town elections 2021. So this is for a full 3-year term on the library trustees. Are there any nominations? Yes, sir.
Brian Conley from 9 Thoroughbred Drive. I'd like to nominate Chris Kenny.
Okay. Brian Conley from 9 Thoroughbred Drive would like to nominate Chris Kenny. Is there a second? Yep. Right. This is for the first one of 3. Okay, so for the first one of 3, any other nominations? Hearing none.
I move that the nominations be closed and the clerk cast one ballot for the candidate nominated.
Okay. Mr. Durensis has moved that the nominations be closed and the clerk cast one ballot for the candidate nominated. Is there a second? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Next up, second of 3 3-year terms on the library trustees.
Brian Conley again. I'd like to nominate Vicki Rellis.
Okay, Brian Connolly nominating Dickie Rellis. Is there a second? There's a second. Any further nominations for that second of 3 3-year slots? Seeing none.
I move that the nominations be closed and the clerk cast one ballot for Vicki Rose.
Okay. Mr. Durensis has made his usual motion. Is there a second? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. And then third of three, right? Okay. Yeah, right, okay. All right, this is working. Okay. All right. Any nominations for the third of three slots? Yes, sir.
Brian Connolly again. I'd like to nominate Sue Lepard.
Sue Lepard, nominated for the third of three slots. Is there a second? Second. Made and seconded. Any further nominations for the third of three slots? Seeing none.
I move that the nominations be closed and the clerk cast one ballot for the candidate nominated.
All right. Mr. Durensis has made his usual motion. Is there a second? Made and seconded. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? None. Okay. And we're done with the library trustees. Thank you all very much. All right. And George, is that the last of our group? Ah, yes. Here we go. Water Commissioner. 1 3-year term on the Water Commissioners. Is there a nomination?
Roger Demler, 169 Maple Street. I nominate Frank Hess for re-election.
Okay, Roger Demler nominates Frank Hess for re-election. Is there a second? There's a second. Are there any further nominations for the single Water Commissioner slot 3 years? Seeing none.
I move that the nominations be closed and the clerk cast one ballot for Frank Hess.
Okay, Mr. Durensis has made his usual motion. Is there a second? There is a second. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? All right. And Janet, where's Janet? Are you scurrying around and grabbing people as they? Okay, great. Thank you very much.
People raise their hands so I can find them. If there's anybody
Okay.
who needs to sign.
Yeah, everybody's hard to see everybody's hard to recognize with masks. So Frank, if you're here, if you'd raise your hand.
Yeah, Frank's in there.
There he is. Okay, you got him? All right. Next up, the hotly contested role of Cemetery Commissioner. 1 3-year term. It's like the hotly contested role of being the moderator of this. You know? What's second prize, right?
I nominate Ellen Heffron for the 3-year term.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Chucky Blaney, 11 Hollis Street.
Chucky Blaney, my former neighbor on Hollis Street, nominates Ellen. Second, okay. Any further nominations for Cemetery Commissioner? All right. Seeing none.
I move that the nominations be closed and the clerk cast one ballot for the candidate nominated.
All right. Is there a second? All right. Mr. Durensis has moved and made his usual motion and seconded. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Chucky. Okay. Planning Board, 3-year term, 1 slot. Any nominations for Planning Board? Yes, ma'am. You have to tell us who you are.
Oh, Marion Neutra, 25 Prospect Street. I nominate Will Dunham for re-election.
Okay. Marion Neutra nominates Will Dunham for re-election. It's been seconded. Are there any further nominations for the Planning Board, single slot, 3-year term? Seeing none.
I move that the nominations be closed and the clerk cast one ballot for the candidate nominated.
All right, it's been moved that the clerk close the nominations, cast 1 ballot for the candidate nominated. Is that seconded? It is seconded. All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, no? Motion carries. Okay, Dover-Sherborn Regional School Committee, one slot, 1 3-year term. Are there any nominations? Yes, ma'am, in the back.
I'm Ann Hovey, 6 Wood Road, and I nominate Judy Miller.
Okay. And I couldn't quite hear it, but I think it was Pam Cuddy of Wood Road nominating Judy Miller. Ann Hovey. Masks outside. Sorry.
You're doing a great job.
And it's been seconded. All right. Any further nominations for Dover-Sherborn Regional School Committee? Hearing none.
I move that the nominations be closed and the clerk cast one ballot for the candidate nominated.
Mr. Durensis has graciously made his regular motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Ms. Miller's in. And Ms. Miller, you're right here, right? So she was here. Yeah, there she is. And Janet's grabbing her. Janet's faster than the speeding bullet. Okay. Board of Health. Two slots, 3-year terms each. First slot, is there a nomination? 1 3-year term. Yes, sir.
Honeywell, 104 Woodland. I'm nominating my lovely wife, Rebecca Honeywell.
All right, another spousal nomination. There's nothing wrong with those. Made and seconded. Any further for the first of 2 slots? Seeing none.
I move that the nomination be closed. I move that the nomination be closed and that the candidate nominated.
Thank you, Mr. Durensis. He's made his regular motion. Is it seconded? It is seconded. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. All right. Congratulations, Ms. Honeywell. Remember, your husband nominated you for this. All right. Is there... All right. We've got a second 3-year term on the Board of Health. Are there any nominations for the second 3-year term? Yes, sir. You are?
Matthew Vitale, 1 Mill Street, nominating Matt Beavers.
Okay. Matt Vitale nominates Matt Beavers. Is there a second? There's a second. Made and seconded for Matt Beavers. Any further nominations for the second and final 3-year slot on the Board of Health? Seeing none.
I move that the nominations be closed and the clerk cast one ballot for the candidate nominated.
Thank you, Mr. Durensis. Seconded? All right. Moved and seconded that that person be get 1 ballot. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. All right. Motion carries. Recreation Commission. Next up, 1 3-year slot. Is there anyone wishing to nominate? Yes, sir.
David Goldberg, 23 Bridle Path. I for re-election.
All right. 23 Bridle Path nominates Gavin Mish for re-election. Is there a second? There is a second. Any further nominations for the 1 spot on the Recreation Commission 3-year term? Seeing none.
I move that the nominations be closed and the clerk cast one ballot for the candidate nominated.
All right. Seconded. All right. Moved and seconded that the nominations be closed and the clerk cast 1 ballot. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. All right. Carries. Mr. Fisk. Mr. Fisk. Mr. Fisk. We're not done yet, but it's only another minute. We need to elect a very competitive spot, which is next year's caucus committee.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Guthrie, 29 Lake Street, and I am nominating Rick Novak, Janet Walsh, and George Fisk for the caucus committee.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Easy.
They're only 3 days. All right. Before people leave, if you are a caucus candidate and you have not signed up with Janet, please do so immediately. That's a very important piece of paper that has to be turned in. And then George, I think there's one last vote, right? Let people go home. All right. I move that the caucus committee be empowered to fill any vacancies that occur. Is there a second for that? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you all very much. We'd also move to take that as a motion to adjourn as well.